News update for May the 21st, Sunday, fourth take. And, I tell you, this is crazy. This Wi-Fi internet thing keeps coming on, and I don't want it on. It needs to stay off. And it keeps interrupting my recordings. I don't like that. But anyway, if you want to subscribe to us, hit the subscribe button right here. A pretty subscribe button. That's one way how you can share our content. And there's another way you can get our news out and let us know what's going on and stuff. But I want to tell you an update what's going on here. As of Monday, my lawyer doesn't know this, but she's going to know tomorrow. If she doesn't look at the video, she will know because I'm going to call her, too, in addition. But the thing is, new developments here in Harbor Square. Janine Brown actually got transferred from here on Friday to go to a different property. And Kristen, who was here before, came back. Now, I don't say that in a bad way. Now, I talked to her on Monday. She said she really couldn't talk much because that's standard procedure. Because she said I was taking Harbor Square to court. And I said, no, I'm not taking them to court. That was Janine's idea. Because Janine's the one that brought up that brainy idea. And I didn't want to take her to court. I like to settle things out of court. That's usually how I usually roll. Because I'm more mature and rational. It doesn't have to go to court. But that's what they wanted to do so they could do this circus thing, with the lying witnesses. And try to make it look like, oh, well, this lady's so bad. This guy was so bad. And, oh, he's caused me so much harm and robbed me of my enjoyment. I can already hear how it's going to go tomorrow. Because I think they're going to try that. But I don't know what Kristen's going to do because she wasn't here when all this stuff happened. But she's here now. But the thing is, I can hear what they're going to try to do if they get called up to the stand by Miss Linda Price. And I already know where it's going to go because I've been saying that she's been harassing me all along since the very beginning, since the genesis of me moving here. And now this lady who moved over to the other side is now she's making the same accusations because she's watched the videos. So it's like she's taking what I'm saying and emulating it and saying that these videos are what caused her to rob her of her enjoyment, which is a lie. The real reason why she moved over there, really, it's not because of the videos. She moved over there, truthfully, is because she had to get downstairs because she didn't like going up and down the stairs, is what I found out. Not speculated, but when I asked from the neighbors and other people in the community, that's what they told me. And that's the real reason, because that's why she's on the N unit over there. It's not because of me harassing her with these videos, because these videos were up. And what I don't understand is why these videos are being used, because a lot of these videos are more than 5 months old. How can you use something I said when I was angry, and it was over 5 or 10 months old? If I said something like yesterday that was like that, that would be different. But these videos are several months old. Another thing I like to say, because I taped that proceeding what happened last Tuesday, so I can go right to stuff. Because I know all the stuff that all 3 of those ladies said in question on the stand under oath were all totally lies. I came outside of Kathy's apartment and she said, that she was going to get my ass and set me up and had people coming. She had surprises showing up to court. And those surprises were Miriam Tate and Patricia Taylor. Those were her surprises. Okay? Like I kind of knew. I had a feeling about that. And I knew that's who the prize witnesses were. The clown witnesses, because that's what they are. Because they're not credible, because Miriam can't even hear right. Because my lawyer so pointedly pointed that out last week. Of course, I know that too, because I've always had to speak louder to her anyway. But the thing is, these other 2, and the other lady, she wasn't even there for most of the stuff. So I don't know how she can be credible, Patricia. And, because she wasn't even there. Now, she was there on the event that took place on the 19th. But when I came out there that day, I didn't say nothing to her when she said that because she wanted me to hear it, because she was taunting me and she was instigating it, just like my lawyer said. She really did that. And in the tone she was using. And she came and I didn't say nothing. So she says, oh, you're stupid. I said, why are you saying this to me? She said, because you're stupid. I said, well, why don't you just say it really loud, because that's the way you always do it. So she said, oh, you want to get it on, don't you? Well, let's go. She said, you're stupid, because he likes to hear me. She said to Patricia, and she said it to, whatever her name is, Miriam Tate. He said it right to them. Said, "Oh, he likes to hear it when I get loud." So she said it real loud about us, on top of her lungs, and yelled through there because she always is loud in the past. She's always been real boisterous and always been like that. So so she said it a third time, and I said, "Well, we'll just have to see what happens in court, won't we?" And I just said it normal. I wasn't yelling, but she was yelling. And then she repeated what she said. "Oh, I got surprises to get you in jail." The main person that was up there on the stand, who represented herself under oath, which was lying the whole time, because that's what they do all the time. They have a history of doing that. But she was up there lying her head off. And, I just said, well, we'll see what happens. I think in the end, I think your bags are going to be going out here because they're going to be the only bags that are going to be going out here. And I don't know where they got body bag from. Where they got where I said I was going to kill her twice from, because I never said any of those things. They just made it up, because I can tell you what, 2 weeks before all this went down, they were all over at Miriam's house, underneath me. She lives down below. They were talking really loud, her and Patricia, real loud, and Miriam, at the top of their lungs, laughing and giggling. I guess they thought I was over at my uncle's that day. But I heard it word for word because it was so loud. I was getting ready to go to my uncle's, and I had TV on. I heard all this commotion. I didn't know they were fighting or arguing or what. Miriam's over there laughing like she's at a bar, like she's been drinking. Says that's how loud it was. It sounded like a drunkard woman because it was so loud. Like rowdy. And I've never seen Mary that loud. And it might be because she can't hear very good. But she was over there laughing and all. "Oh, yeah, we're going to get him out of here." And that's what Patricia said, and that's what the other lady said across the hallway when she was here. And she still comes over here or something to talk with her, to give her updates, by the way. And then they still talk even after the fact with this protective order. She still comes around. Tries to get me to say something, but I don't say nothing to her. And I've instructed when she comes over to tape her, so I can use that, and I can actually call the police and show them the video. So I have to carry a camera around with me all the time because of the way this lady is and what she's done to me. And all these videos are not harassing. These videos are really reminiscent of what she's done to me. It's just like when she said, "Well, Michael's always took my ashtray. He's took it all the time." Well, I asked her 2 weeks. The truth is, I asked her 2 weeks prior, says, "Please stop smoking in the hallway." And before I could say anything else, because I'm allergic to smoking, which the landlord knows, and I am, but she would blow it out there right in my door, and it would go right up underneath my door into my apartment. That's what she would do. And I asked her to stop doing it, and she said, "You have no right to F and tell me anything what to do." She said, "Get back in your apartment." She said, "I can do whatever the F I want. If you keep talking to me, I'm going to call the office." I said, "Well, go ahead and call the office." So she went and called the office, and I got a violation, and so did she, which her violations, by the way, disappeared. Remember, there was a break-in, and it happened after Nancy left sometime, and I think it happened more when Janine Brown was here, and I think Janine was in on it because she's over there hugging the lady across the hallway before she moved over on the other side, and saying, "You're my, hey, girlfriend," and having her up in her apartment, having a little victory party, like she got to reward it. Well, she's the one that caused all the stuff and the terrorizing. And been standing outside my door. Yeah, I called her name because I was yelling her name to get away from my door and stop banging on my door. Like she's going breaking in, punching it real hard. She did that like 4 different times. She thought I was up in her computer. I wasn't even up in her computer. And that was a lie. Just like the knocking on the windows. Just like the hacking in the Wi-Fi's. And everything else. And attacking on my business. Her and Patricia were all behind all those things, which I never got to bring up in court or explain. And she tried to lie in court, too, and try to say that I hacked in her computer, when yet my lawyer piped up and said, which was good, because she said, "Did you know what Michael was doing at the time when you thought he was in your computer?" And she said, "Well, no. I just assumed he was in the computer. We traced the address, and it went back to a corporation." "Well, how do you know that's his IP address?" She said, "Well, I know, because he's a computer tech, and he was in my computer." She said, "Well, you still didn't answer the question. How do you know it was him?" And that's what the lawyer asked her, verbatim. And she lied about that. Just like taking her ashtray. I only took it one time after that. That's why I took it. Once. And then the other people were taking it after that. But I only did it once. I threw it out in the woods. I never gave it back to her. It went out in the woods. And then after that, Nancy said something to her, because this is before Patricia moved over here and before Maren were over here, so they can't vouch on that, but they probably would lie about that too, even though they weren't here at the time. But they probably would lie about that like they did with everything else. But anyway, to make it sweeter, that's why I threw it in the woods. And of course, then Nancy said something. We both got a violation, and she stopped smoking out in the hallway. And all she had to do is just calmly just go in her apartment and smoke. Because when she would do it, she was blowing it over in my door. Somehow she was doing it right up against my door. Because it was coming in my apartment. And then in 2015, Lucille died. She was a nice neighbor. But then Miriam Tate, she moved over here, and she's a chronic smoker. She smokes like a freaking chimney every day. And a lot of times it's so bad up here, especially when she has her family over. It smells like a freaking bar up in here. And you can see the smoke up here, and then they're downstairs. And it comes in through the vents because they're all connected in this building. Because it's the way they did it cheaply to get her cut corners. They've done that on a lot of things with these buildings. The buildings are built pretty well, but the way they did a lot of things, they cut corners to save money. And all these events should be separate, but they're not. That's why smoke comes in here when she smokes downstairs. But when someone smokes or cooks something, you can smell it in all the building. So that's why that happened. But, Miriam, I never knocked on her door really but 2 or 3 times a month to check on her. But she told a lie, too, and said, well, when you do one thing one time, you do it all the time. It seems to be the new vibration.